All right.
So we left off last session at a small, looks like frequently used campsite off the road.
All right.
You had traveled from Belliard after doing some shopping, some exchanging of goods, and a little bit of planning. Because your next destination, at least the one discussed, was going to be to find a way into the Temple of Air that you now know is deep below the ground, somewhere beneath Feathergale Spire.
Were we going to go to Feathergale Spire first, or right to the?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
So the plan upon leaving Belliard was to stop in at Feathergale Spire, rest for a night, meet up with Savra, who has returned to the Spire, as well as a handful of knights. More will continue to head back there as they are recovered in the Summit Hall. You would then make your way down into the Sighing Valley and look for the entrance to this temple. You have teamed up with a bard and a handful of his companions. He, having heard that a winged elven woman who is styling herself a queen is holding audition and looking for minstrels. You, knowing perhaps not the exact location, but near enough the location to this queen's supposed lair, have agreed to team up with him. You've all done a brief bit of auditioning of sorts. Some of you having a modicum of acrobatic or magical talent that can be used in displays. Others perhaps feats of strength or agility. He agrees that it is more than enough to be able to get you in the door. At least it's something he can work with. And as you bedded down in a well-used campsite, off the road, not more than 4 hours away from Feathergale Spire, you were accosted in the middle of the night by what seems to be members of the cult of the Crushing Wave. You did dispatch them relatively easily, one of them telling you that it wouldn't make a difference, that Ulhydra would not be stopped, that she would rise. And that is where we're going to pick up. You managed to get the remainder of the night's sleep, everyone returning to their tents. And if you haven't already, you guys can go ahead and push your long rest buttons. And we will start first thing in the morning.
All right. Shall we head on to Feathergale?
Moss makes ready to leave. Mutters something about things being tossed.
Definitely no reason to stick around here, especially with cultists out roaming about.
I definitely like to warn them. Warn the tower. Actually, you did a sending stone, didn't you? Or sending...
Well, Taladar didn't tell anybody.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
If asked, he would admit that he sent Savra a message. You know what? Yeah, I think if Aranor mentioned that, Taladar would just quietly say, "It's taken care of. I sent Savra a message in the middle of the night." And he'll just kind of stare at Rin.
I said it.
Well done. Did Savra say anything about me?
He'll just turn and continue packing up his tent.
So you guys pack and make ready. moving your belongings back onto your horses, which didn't wander far in the night. One steed amongst the others stands out, of course, this being Gustavo. He stands apart from the rest of the horses, perhaps feeling as though he is better in some way.
Just like the real Gustavo.
The two traveling companions of Lyria approach you all, but specifically Lyria, to say, we had a talk last night after events, and I think we're going to part ways here. It seems like the roads are just much more dangerous, and whatever you guys are wrapped up in, we don't really want to be a part of.
Wait, is this the bard talking?
It's his two companions.
Ah. So he's not part of this conversation, or he's not leaving.
Well, I
or-
haven't finished yet, but it's just too much for us. We're not combatants. It's not what we signed up for. So we think maybe we'll head for Red Larch and spend a few days there. And if you guys want to head there afterwards, or Lyria, if that's where, you know where to find us, should you want to continue traveling further. He nods at them. I understand. It's, well, it is a shame you will not be continuing on. I do understand. Perhaps, yes, we can meet up again. Should I pass through Red Larch when we are finished, or if I take this job, who knows? Don't stay on my account.
While Lyria's focused on talking to his two assistants and not looking at Moss, Moss is going to Drugcraft the smell of a skunk. Right near Lyria. As if emanating from him.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and should we meet up again soon, yes, we could travel together. As I said, do not stay too long on my account. They sort of look at each other and back away. The woman holding her nose slightly. Yes, well, look for us in Red Larch, should you happen that way. And they tend to their horses, mount up, and they head off. Well, I suppose I am down some companions. Perhaps it is for the best. Shall we get going?
Moss kind of gives a sniff towards Lyria. Sniffs again. Are you sure it's a danger that's driving them away? Perhaps not something else?
Yes, perhaps there was a skunk that got into the camp and sprayed my belongings, or the horse, or perhaps the tent. It is unfortunate. Hopefully there are baths at this tower you spoke of, yes?
I'm sure something can be arranged.
Yes, most definitely. Let's move.
Excellent. Well, lead the way, my armored friend. And he mounts up. Gestures for you to precede him and lead the way.
Onward, Gustavo!
Gustavo wickers. Perhaps eyes the horses on either side of him. As if to say, you believe this? And you all make your way back towards the road to make the few hours trek to the southwest. The day is overcast. And while it's not cold, it's not altogether warm either. The morning passes quickly, and by the time the sun has reached its peak in the sky, you can see the top of Feathergale Spire jutting out from the earth. You approach along the road. I will move you all to the map. You see no hippogriffs, no mounted riders circling the spire. And from this distance, you can't tell if there's anyone home or not. But you approach nonetheless, finding yourselves once again in front of a lowered drawbridge, the bell attached by the side of the road, to be rung should you wish to cross and enter.
I think as we approach, if it's hard to tell if the tower is occupied or not, I think that Taladar would burn a third level spell slot. Sorry, a second level spell slot to. A third level to cast Sending to Savra and just quietly announce our arrival and ask if everything is all right.
Yeah, it's only a matter of seconds before you get a response. Oh, good. Oh, you've arrived. We've been waiting for you. I'll have the main gates opened.
Sense motive. But no, seriously, I'm going to insight check her.
Yeah. Okay.
Just I don't know. Just for.
It's hard to get too much over a sending spell. It sounded like Savra. It seemed like Savra. You have no reason to doubt that it was her.
Okay.
And after another 15, 20 seconds, the drawbridge is already lowered, but the wide doors open to allow you admittance. And Savra herself comes out to meet you. Ah, good, you've made it. Oh, horses. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How to get them to the stables? Well, bring them in anyway. We can figure that out. You would remember, all of you, that the stables in the lowest section of the tower don't have a bridge that accesses them, because all of the mounts you have ever seen here are flying mounts. So you enter the tower. I will just put you on the tower map. You enter the tower. You see only one knight in the main entranceway in the foyer. It is much quieter here than you remember. Much more sparse. Less people, less sound. There are no smells coming from the kitchen on this floor. No sound of knights training or of... no sound of animals from the stable below. Savra tells you there are only perhaps 4 or 5 of us total in the tower now. We have had a couple of acolytes, squires, return, those that were sent away. 2 of whom returned willing to continue training and learning in their hopes to become knights themselves one day. But come, leave your horses here and come inside. And so you do. You drop your horses, you leave them all in the main foyer, assuming that one of the knights, perhaps one of the initiates, will handle them. Oh, I see you have a new traveling companion. Oh, it's how rude of me. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lyria, and it is a pleasure to meet you, my dear. He bows with a flourish and takes her hand and kisses the back of it. She blushes. Oh, a minstrel, you said? Yes. Song, dance, music. All are my forte. I would be happy to show you. Oh, perhaps over dinner this evening. You are all welcome to stay. We have plenty of space, rooms available. But come, get settled, rest, relax a bit. And she leads you further into the tower. You guys are all quite familiar with the building now. So you can go wherever you wish. She shows you to the rooms upstairs to let you put your things down, your belongings. She offers Lyria this room I can make available to you. It is here on the same floor. You will have to share with one of the knights, however. I'm assuming that won't be an issue. Oh, I have seen much, much worse accommodations, my lady. And he makes himself at home. I will look forward to seeing you this evening. She blushes and sort of just leaves the room, closing the door behind her. The rest of you, she says, come, your previous rooms are available. Leads you to them. What is it that you guys would like to do?
How long are we planning on staying here?
As long as you want.
Well, we could set out this day.
Mm-hmm.
We could perhaps stay a night and sleep in a warm bed and have a fine meal and set out early in the morning. It won't take long to get where we're going. But however we do it, I will likely need to expend at least some of my ability to cast spells for the day to get us there.
Yes. I have been keeping a watch on the gully. Or having the others do so. There is still activity down there, though no one has approached the tower. We have seen people coming and going. Not nearly as often as before, but we have seen activity down there.
I'm thinking perhaps we float to the valley floor and approach on foot. Flying there may raise too much attention. May present ourselves in a light other than how we wish to appear. We worked a deal with the Bard to enter their temple as his troupe. I think some of us more suited to entertaining than others, but I fear it will likely devolve into a fight as it does anytime we try a subterfuge. But still, it's an attempt, at least. So we probably should approach humbly and not in a show of magical force.
Perhaps that is for the best. A fight seems inevitable. Should you ultimately be looking to clear this temple out, I don't see how that's something that can be avoided. You say it's an elven woman who seems to run this cult? She's looking to all of you.
Do we know?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what her boss confirmed, isn't it?
Yeah, what's her... She's not Ohydra, right?
No.
Is it Alondra? No, that was
Arisi
one of the...
Kalanoff.
There it is.
Kalanoth, yes. The Lord Commander spoke of her. Not frequently, but she was mentioned in passing. He was her direct subordinate. I never met the woman, nor have I ever spoken to her. She gave orders directly through the Lord Commander.
Sabra, how have you been since you've been cleansed of that corruption?
I've been very well. I've resumed my training. I am now one of the highest ranking officers within the Feathergale Knights. And thus, I have taken the Lord Commander's chambers for my own. There are none here who would dispute it, and I would turn them over should somebody else request them, but it looks like for now, I and perhaps only one other will be in charge.
I'm very happy to hear that. I'm glad to hear all is well with you. Rest assured, my friends and I will be cleansing this evil throughout this land.
That is good to hear. There are enough troubles going on in the world. We don't need this above all. Come, we can speak more over dinner. Take your rest, relax, enjoy the gardens if you'd like. We will speak more at dinner. Perhaps your minstrel friend said that he would entertain. I am quite looking forward to it.
He's not in the room, is he?
No, he's in his chambers.
Right.
And she makes to leave. You will forgive me, I do have some duties to attend to. I will join you this evening for dinner.
Stavra,
Yes.
I don't mean to tell you how to conduct your business, but the Bard is a means to an end and nothing more. I don't trust him. He doesn't know. Or at least, we haven't let him in on any of our plans. He just knows we seek an audience with Arisi.
Ah, I see.
It
is good that you've informed me.
I would, if I were you, avoid him. For no reason other than to avoid letting him in on our plans.
Thank you.
I wholeheartedly agree. Stay away from him.
Seems a shame, she says to herself as she's heading out of the room.
Talar just, as she leaves, Taladar just gives Rin a nod.
You guys are free to do whatever you want in the tower. If you want to rest, if you want to, whatever you want. We can just fast forward to dinner. If you guys want to change plans and go to the gully immediately, you could do that. It's up to you. Her plan is basically just to, over dinner, chat and catch up on the goings-on in the valley. If there's any other information you want to share with her. The Bard said that he would perform. It's up to you guys.
I think if we have, it's still relatively early in the day, right?
Yeah, it's about noon.
Taladar's got kind of a little list of things he wants to do. He would approach Moss and just find a quiet moment and find Moss and just say, Moss, can I have a word with you?
Moss will take a hard look. Excuse me. Hard look at Taladar. Insight check. What does he want? Is that something I can do?
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh, not great.
I don't have anything to roll because Taladar is being honest, but I think he would come across as acting strange because it's out of character for him. And he would just say, it's good to be in this place without the presence of the cult here. I was wondering if you would join me in the garden, just for a quiet time.
Moss nods. I enjoy the garden. Lead on.
Yeah, and he's not looking to really do anything other than just sit quietly and enjoy the peace of the garden with Moss. For as long as Moss is comfortable, but Taladar would just draw his sword and lay it on his lap as he sits cross-legged in the grass and just kind of chill.
Moss will stay there all night.
After maybe an hour, you might notice Taladar get a little fidgety, and he would just quietly say, I don't know if we'll have this opportunity again, so I thought to spend some quiet with you. the world around us is chaotic, and I notice you don't always react well to chaos. And he'll just stand up and, as he starts to leave, say, "Thank you for spending some peace with me."
The world is chaos, but it can be guided. And Moss will Druidcraft one of the nearby plants to bloom fully.
Yeah, I think Taladar would stand and just kind of watch in awe. He'll just nod and excuse himself. And maybe find his way to wherever Felix is. Is there any chance that Felix is tinkering with something?
Yeah, he would be if there was a lot of spare time.
Yeah, I think you might find him. If the door is open to whatever room he's in, you might find Taladar just leaning against the door jamb, watching. And,
I would imagine that Felix, do you have, I'm assuming, a small bag of bits and parts and tiny little gears and weird shaped tools, etc., etc.?
Yeah, he carries like jeweler's tools, thieves' tools, tinker's tools. So
Okay.
Moss is going to finish his thoughts just to Taladar. So, full chaos can be guided. It's when others do it unnaturally that I become upset.
And yet you surround yourself with those that bring chaos. Curious.
This has been a very difficult experience for me, but I am trying to learn.
Well, I'm glad to share it with you. And then he would go find Felix and just kind of watch Felix tinker for a bit until maybe he was noticed, and just ask to Taladar is, if you, like, without even an insight check, I think Felix would notice that Taladar is very, very curious about his tinkerings and just about the way he perceives magic in general, and without RPing it, I think Taladar would take a few moments to inquire, to just start asking some very Arcana check type of questions about how Felix perceives the world and the magic that flows through it, and just spend a little time trying to get to know Felix from a technical curiosity standpoint. He's not a very warm person, but trying to find a common ground to relate. And he would maybe ask, can you teach me a little about how you weave spells, how you perceive magic? It's so different from what I've studied. And he would open his spell book and just show an example of a complex spell. And I imagine, it would be a little bit, depending on Felix's Arcana, it would be a lot to look at, especially for somebody who casts naturally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Felix has ever studied. It could come across as just a page full of gibberish.
Although he is an artificer as well, so...
Yeah, it's not to say he's not intelligent, but I don't know enough about the arcane to know what you have written in your book.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I mean, with a role like that, it all would make sense to you. It's probably it is in fact a new spell that Taladar has crafted, and you would recognize it as the Lightning Bolt spell. The spellcraft, the runes are extremely complicated for it, and I would think you'd look at it and understand it, but maybe sense how rigid and constructed it is for a wizard to cast versus how off the cuff spells are for you to cast. And Taladar would tell you, I envy the way that you sling spells with no forethought. They just roll off your tongue or burst forth from your hands without preparation.
that's because they were an accident.
How do you mean?
I was trying to follow my father's footsteps and work with clockwork materials and wasn't very good. And one day, accidentally or by chance, struck some of the gears, and there was just a bolt in my head. Not like the spell you're about to cast, or that you can cast there, but the magic just opened itself.
Just opened itself. How do you... Everything all at once, or a little at a time? Surely you've learned and grown just since we've met. I've seen you cast greater and more powerful things in greater measure, more recently. Does inspiration just strike you, or do you practice and craft?
I don't practice the magic, I practice the tinkering, and sometimes things happen. A new spell will pop up.
Would you mind if I sat a while and watched you work?
Sure. Just watch out for Tick. And I'd imagine my little clockwork homunculus is just fluttering around.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. I think Taladar would find Tick pretty weird and just kind of shy away at first, but maybe as he becomes a little more comfortable with it.
How big is he?
It's a small creature,
Okay.
so not very big.
Well, he's big enough to like sit on your shoulder, right?
Yeah, that
So-
you know.
I would imagine that he's smaller than a cat. That he's like, maybe guinea pig size.
I don't know how big a guinea pig is.
It's the size of like 2 large baked potatoes together.
What the fuck?
Hmm.
I can't picture anything.
Are these
else.
like loaded potatoes with all the toppings and everything, or
Well, they can
Yes.
be.
Yes, they get chunky.
fully grown between 8 and 10 inches in length?
Please tell me you've never seen a guinea pig?
No, I don't know what the fuck a guinea pig is.
What
It's
the
like a
heck?
giant hamster.
I know what it is, but I've never seen one or touched one.
Well, there's
Yeah, I
one
think-
eating a banana, so they're
Banana for scale.
Yeah.
I think I think Taladar would pass maybe a quiet hour watching you work and asking a few questions here and there, and maybe warming up to your homunculus a little bit and trying to interact with it. At the end of which he would pat his spell book, which he keeps strapped to his side beneath his robes, and he says, "I want you to know my spell book is open to you if ever you wish to try to learn something from it, or if ever you wish to share in the arcane craft. We don't speak much, and I don't have much to say to most folk, but there is." And he just kind of looks around. There is something here that is profound to me, between us all, that I did not think I could find. And he just kind of nods at a loss for more words and excuses himself, and takes off.
Yeah, I would say at this point it's probably mid to late afternoon, probably approaching like 4 o'clock.
He's going to go find Starsha next, wherever she is.
Starsha, where do you think you are?
And I just want to out of play. Taladar's not leaving the party. He's kind of had kind of an epiphany, and he's trying to make right something he felt was wrong. He's not going anywhere, because this sounds kind of final, but it's not. Yeah. So where is Starsha if he could even find her?
What time of day is it?
It's
Like
about 4
4
o'clock.
Oh, it's that early?
Yeah, dinner will be in a couple of hours.
Ugh. For some reason, I thought it was later in the day.
She's asleep.
Yeah, in the middle of the day, she's taking a nap.
Is she really?
No, that's crazy.
Elves don't sleep.
That's sad.
That's true.
Well, since almost, what did you say? There's like 5 people left?
Yeah, there's only of the entire Feathergale Knights. There's Savra, and there's 4, possibly 5 other people in the whole tower, other than
Oh.
your traveling companions outnumber the residents of the tower right now.
That's crazy. Well, in that case, I will be perusing the tower.
Looking for any
Left
loose
behind items, yes.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, somebody dropped this spoon. Yoink.
I mean, if they left it behind, clearly they don't want it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's very on brand for her, and so he would go looking for her room to room, kind of not really going into rooms, but just waiting in hallways for her to exit one of the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
at whatever point he found her, he would just say, "Do you have a few minutes?"
I guess.
Join me on the rooftop,
Oh boy.
and he holds out his hand.
Yeah, she just kind of looks at his hand and just moves on ahead.
Cold.
Go, no.
Okay, then he will dimension door himself to the rooftop and wait for her to appear. Is there anybody else up here?
There is nobody on the roof. There are
Right.
no flying mounts circling. There is a large telescope that has been not permanently affixed, but you know that this was in the possession. Well, you had seen one in the possession of the Baron, which one of you now carries. There is another one that has been affixed to a device, a stand, on the tower here. But there's nobody else up here. It's a little windy.
Good. Taladar will slowly draw his sword and hold it by the blade with the handle pointed outward when Starsha approaches, and he'll say, "Hold this for a moment. Try it out. Put it through its paces. See if you like the feel of how it cuts through the air."
For what purpose?
Try it out first, and then I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, I'm not touching any of your of the stuff.
he smiles softly
No.
and reaches in his pocket and takes something else out and opens his hand, and it is 5 gold pieces. He says, "A fair while ago, I gave you a similar quantity and promised the rest on delivery of a certain man's head." And he holds it out and he says, I don't want to owe you that. We've gone so far past that. And if something should happen to me, I don't want to go into the next life owing anyone anything. And he just holds out the coin.
What's a sudden change of heart?
I know, it bothers me to no end. But it is what it is. Just take it, would you? And the blade is not a trick, there's no ruse, it's just a simple blade, there's nothing special or magical about it. It is, other than it is a family heirloom that I've carried for most of my life, and my father carried for most of his life, and I frankly don't know how many generations it goes back, but it is old. Beyond that, there's nothing to it. I just thought you'd want to hold it now. So that when you take it off my body in battle to avenge me, it won't be the first time. Because I wish to ask you, if I fall, take up my sword and continue the fight. And he just holds it, handle towards you.
Yeah, it is a beautifully crafted rapier. It is very clearly of elven make. It is shaped more like a katana than a rapier is. It's like an elven long blade, but it gets used as a rapier. You're not sure that you've ever seen a weapon like this.
Yeah, but I also know that everything he does has some weird motive attached to it.
Well, I mean,
Insight him.
you can make an insight check.
Let's do that. Insight.
If you have access to the detect thoughts spell, you could cast that on him.
I don't know if I do or do not. Hold on, let me do insight and then see if I have detect thoughts somewhere.
I don't think you do.
Ah, hold on, my it's rolling real slow again.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, will it ever stop?
It will eventually stop.
Well, that was slow.
Oof.
Well, okay, hold on one second. Let me fix this.
I mean, you've traveled with this guy for... It hasn't really been a couple of months, but in the grand scheme of things, it kind of feels like it has. You've seen him you've heard him say some shady things. You've seen him do some shady things, or at least infer that that's what he would do. You're pretty sure that you've never actually heard Taladar lie. He might have put a face on, or airs on things, but has never actually lied to anybody, to your knowledge. So while this seems very, very weird and completely out of place for him, you don't get a sense that he's lying.
Yeah, it's not the sense that he might be lying, but like if I touch this thing, will it, do something weirdly magical? Like I don't trust him.
Make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Where would I find the detect thoughts thing? Is that in spells?
It would be in spells. Your Arcana check is more than enough to know there is nothing magical about that sword. The things that he does with that sword must come from him, not the sword itself. Where you come from, they don't have weaponry like this. Where you come from, things are completely utilitarian. They are blunt, they are ugly, they're made for a purpose. This is a beautiful weapon. It's made for more than just a purpose.
It's decorational.
It serves a higher purpose than just killing. You know that he is a blade singer, and the term fits his weapon of choice. It flows. It's almost as if it's not even a weapon, that it seems more, but there is no magic you sense coming from it. Will you take it?
Very slowly and suspiciously.
So you take it, and the first thing that you notice is that this blade is incredibly light. Knowing that you're holding it, you can see it in your hand. You turn it and sort of look it over. There is barely anything to feel. You can feel the haft, not the haft. You can feel the grip, but its weight is feather light. And you think that sword singing or blade dancing is meant for this weapon. You also get a sense of it being incredibly old. And yet there is no spots of tarnish. There's no dulling of the blade. It is pristine and beautiful.
And Taladar would just kind of take a step back and fold his arms into his robes and just sort of lean against one of the walls there. As you inspect the blade, perhaps you might take a few practice swings with it and try it out. And he would say, "The other reason I've handed you that blade is I'm pledging it to you. If after this is all done, you have somewhere you wish to go or something you need to do, my blade and I are with you."
What makes you think that something is going to happen to you? You seem pretty confident.
He nods and smiles and he says, "And I am. But all that I've seen, we face untold dangers daily. I don't expect to fall in the next fight or the one after, but anything can happen. And it's been some time since I had anyone I could trust, since I had anyone I could respect, and now I seem to be surrounded by those I trust and respect." And I thought, before another moment passed, well, I should spend some time with my friends and give them the respect they deserve. You're not from here, but I'm not sure where you do hail from. I think you've mentioned it, but perhaps only in passing. Would you tell me a little more about where you're from, who you left behind, what your intentions are? Do you wish to return there? Am I asking too much?
That is something I am not willing to share.
That's fine. Just know that if you ever want to go back and you need a sword at your back, you have mine and me. And he bows deeply, and then extends a hand, hoping you'll give him back his sword.
Yeah, I'll give you back your sword. Here you go.
He, expertly sheathes it in a single motion, and just nods at you and turns and walks away, back down the stairs, to find Rin next.
Okay. It's about 4:30. Rin, where do you think you are?
Probably just in the quarters.
Okay.
Kind of hanging out.
Yeah, so I think that Taladar would also go find Savra as well, and just see wherever she's at, and if she's busy, but maybe not actually go talk to her.
You can hear her actually.
Oh,
You're currently in the room with Aranor. Aranor was maybe reading a book or doing whatever Aranor does in his downtime. And you can hear her speaking. Her voice is quiet. It's like it's coming from another door on this level.
oh, good.
She did mention that she had taken over the Lord Commander's quarters.
Then I think Taladar would go knock on her door first, because of the two of them, he really only cares about interrupting her. He doesn't give a shit if he interrupts Rin.
Okay.
So he'd go over and just gently knock on the door.
Yes, come in.
He'll open the door. Might I have a word?
Yes, I was just finishing up here, and you can see she hands a couple of letters to one of the come on, brain
People?
squires,
Ah.
and says, "Yes, you can take these." And he nods and heads out. Yes, can I help you with something?
Yeah, a moment, and he'll walk over to the door, to the room that Rin is in, and just fling the door open. You, come here.
Are you gonna get up and go, Aranor?
Yes, I'll follow.
And he'll usher you in and shut the door, and just kind of stand there looking at the two of you. There's a look on his face like he's chewing on something bitter, like there's something he's trying to say but can't find the words for.
Have you noticed that I gave Savra a new icon, a new token?
Oh. No, but I mean, I don't remember what her old one looked like either.
She didn't have one specifically. She was just one of the Feathergale Knights.
Cool. I think Taladar would just kind of pace back and forth, and the two of them might start to get a little bored at this display. He'll just turn and kind of angrily. I've spent half of my life hating people like you. Leaders, people who wield power over others, people who front organizations that can't possibly do the good they claim to. And yet here you are, two people who I respect, who've done no wrong, who've good people, humans even. It angers me that I can find no fault with either of you. And it disgusts me that you've taken to trying to pass messages back and forth through me, and he pulls out a pair of sending stones and places one in each of your hands. I've had enough. The two of you have words to say to each other. Face to face, once I leave. And hopefully, through these, once a day, 25 words or less, and not through me anymore.
Savra just has a shocked look on her face. And she is looking back and forth, wide-eyed, between Aranor and Taladar.
Taladar, I've not seen this side of you. What has come over you?
He just shakes his head and paces back and forth again. You stand for everything that I've spent half of my life hating. People and their civilization and their organizations and everything about all of this. He just kind of waves his hands around the tower. I haven't met many people who've been kind at heart, and yet wield the power that you do. And I doubt I'll meet many more. And, well, I haven't said it before, so there it is.
I don't know what to say. I appreciate your honesty, but I just want you to know that I've trusted you from the beginning.
And you shouldn't. Neither of you should. I'm not trustworthy. I never have been. You're a tool. A means to an end.
You've never given me a reason not to trust you.
You're a greatsword with a trusting idiot attached to the end of it that goes flying at my enemies. And yet Damn it, Rin, I like you. You are my friend. And so are the other idiots I travel with. I like you all. And I hate that I do. And he just turns around and slams the door behind him and storms off. So you now have a sending stone that you can use to speak to Sabra directly. Once a day, 25 words or less,
Nice.
bi-directional.
Thank you.
Yeah, Savra is in shock as Taladar storms out. What was that all about?
Your guess is as good as mine. It appears he's had some kind of epiphany. But I'm glad that we have these stones to communicate. If you're okay communicating with me.
She sort of looks down at her hand. I think I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Well, that's great to hear.
And yeah, we can cut from there, unless there's anything anybody else wants to do. We can either cut to dinner, or we can jump right to tomorrow morning if there's nothing that anybody needs to do.
I think Taladar is not going to show up to dinner. He's going to use his Pearl of Power for to get one of his 3rd level spell slots back and burn all 3 of them on 30 minutes of fly, and just go fucking fly somewhere and be weird and angry and conflicted, and then eventually fly back.
Okay. Yeah,
And
it's
that's it for
it's
Taladar.
not, so you would see the sunset from wherever you're flying around. Well, it's not much of a sunset because it's quite cloudy still, but it does color the sky in the west. But it's a very bruised color. It's a very foreboding color. And as you approach the tower, the skies darken not just with nightfall, but it feels like a storm is approaching. So you've all enjoyed a nice dinner. There's not very many others around to enjoy it, not like the dinners you've had previously in the tower. But it's good. It's good company. You all enjoy yourselves. You've got nice full bellies. Some very good wine that one of the knights has produced. Apparently it was in possession of the Lord Commander. He had it stashed somewhere in the tower. So yeah, unless there's anything anybody else would like to do, we can fast forward to tomorrow morning.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say before we because tomorrow is a big day. Before we fast forward to morning and a couple of us prepare spells, we should probably gather before we head off to bed and do a little strategy talk, and then maybe bring in the bard and just finalize how we're going to present ourselves as a troop. Who does what, and I mean, we've already kind of given him a preview of what we can do. Not sing and not dance and not play the flute. And
yeah, and I mean, like you said, he is unaware of your true intentions.
Yeah.
He just thinks that you know where this queen is and you want to speak to her. And the easiest way to get in is to maybe, go with him and help perform or try and get an audience that way. So yeah, he does perform at dinner. He has a beautiful singing voice. And he produces a mandolin and plays some lovely music. He asks Savra to dance. My lady, would you do me this great honor? No, I'm sorry. I must decline. Oh, well, I won't say I am not disappointed. But I understand. Perhaps you, my good sir. He's looking at you, Felix.
Yeah, I'll dance with the guy.
Excellent. He hands his mandolin over to one of the other knights, who it is discovered is quite talented at playing himself. Yeah, it's not like it's a slow song, it's a bit of a jig. He is an exceptional dancer. Some of you might join in. Savra doesn't, but she sort of claps and, bobs in her seat while you're playing, or while you guys are dancing.
It's a
Taladar
white boy
makes-
party.
Taladar makes an attempt at some sort of elvish dance. You're not quite sure if he got it right, because you've never quite seen it before. But you all think that maybe he's flubbed it up. All in all, it's a good evening. And if Taladar seems a little weird and not saying so much, you all maybe understand why.
So what are we doing tomorrow? And it doesn't have to. We don't have to RP it, but like, what's the plan? Because I got some spells I need to sort out. I can float everybody to the ground with a single spell. If we find a good spot to jump off where it's straight down, and then we can approach on foot across the valley floor, or I can fly. Two of us at a time, up to 6 people, 2 of us at a time, for 10 minutes. So we could find a spot to fly to that's safe and close, and I just burn all my 3rd level slots and send us there.
How far away is it?
Let's look at the map.
Because if we're supposed to be going just as the Bard troop, they might want to see us coming.
Well, the difficulty is that you don't know exactly where this entrance is. You know that both Savra, I think the Lord Commander before her, and Taladar have all seen activity here, where I'm pinging, heading into this gully. Beyond that, you guys don't really know.
And then there's the matter of everybody knows what we look like, and we have garnered some attention with all the killing we've done.
Well, we some of us can disguise ourselves.
I think it'd be best if I disguise myself as like a mercenary that's protecting the bard, maybe like a bodyguard.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have always wanted a bodyguard.
Sure you
I
have.
would let you happily guard my body.
Easy now. Easy.
How far is it to the gully?
I mean, if it's as the crow flies, I would say if you guys were to sprout wings from the top of the tower, you could glide down to the entrance of the gully in less than 10 minutes.
So we get to the entrance of the gully, and then I'm thinking we wait till there. We'll fall, or let us feather fall, allow us to get to the gully in one go, or are we going to get the?
I would say if you guys were to feather fall, because it's a long way down, you would drift out, maybe? Like if you were to take a running leap off the top of the tower and land maybe here.
Oh, look at those wingsuits too.
Well, there's only 2 of those.
Only 2.
Yeah.
The wingsuits would let you glide all the way over there.
I mean, that saves me 2 wingsuits. Moss can't fly yet, can he?
No, I cannot.
Okay, so the 2 wingsuits would save me a 3rd level spell slot, which means if we got into tussle, I wouldn't be completely out of.
I
stuff.
can loan you the only remaining 2 hippogriffs for the purpose of taking you down there.
Can they find their way back on their own?
Oh, absolutely. They're
Let's
very
go.
intelligent.
And several of you have handled them before, right?
Yes.
Between those and the wingsuits and a single, yeah, we could do this. I could send all 6 of us to the mouth of the canyon with a single spell, and well, and the rest.
So I would think we want to stop just short. I mean, we don't know what's in the canyon, so somewhere just outside of it.
Yeah.
Regroup and cast our disguises.
How are we disguising ourselves?
Well, some of us have magical disguises, right?
You do?
Yeah, I have access to the disguise self spell, and I think Moss has a similar, right? But it's only for an hour.
Is there stuff in the tower that would like help us disguise ourselves? Just clothes and
yeah, I was gonna. I'm gonna try and make myself look like.
Savr would volunteer. You know, there are squires' belongings. There are some belongings that were left by those that either have not returned or that will never be returning. You are welcome to go through whatever you'd like, and in amongst them, you could find, you know, a couple of brown cloaks, a couple of you know, just very simple like squires' clothes, pants, and shirts and stuff. There's enough here to cobble together a couple of non-magical disguises.
I think we're gonna. I've got the that purple linen that I took from a million years ago. Maybe we can fashion some of that into, you know, robes or wraps or, you know, or something like that.
Yeah, you've got like purple velvet drapes or something.
Yeah.
It's really nice fabric.
Wouldn't there be the clothing of the initiates or whatever that were in the tower?
There is none of that.
Shucks.
It's like they didn't actually stay here. They were just stationed here.
Okay. I'm gonna try and find a helm to cover my face.
Oh, that's easily found.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think you know, maybe for Moss and Taladar, we could use disguise self to mask our faces. You know, when we get close, and that's how we can be miserly with the spell. You know, at a distance, like, we shouldn't change our overall appearance. We should, you know, rely on the natural disguise until we get up close, and then just change our face and race.
Well, I do have certain bearing that might stand out.
I mean, you could also just be a bug in somebody's pocket for a good chunk of our sneaking in too, right?
That could be an option.
Or a bug sneaking around scouting.
I think I'd rather stay with a group, but perhaps that'd be the idea of disguise myself as a creature is a good one. I just worry that if we're caught, I suppose a magical disguise self would be as likely as a wild shape.
Yeah, well, if we're caught, a battle will ensue. Yeah, so don't worry about it.
While you guys are, you know, discussing what you're going to be doing, you can hear now the sound of a storm outside.
We better get going.
Well, we have a night to rest yet, don't we?
Yeah, you can either go this evening if you'd like, or you can go first thing in the morning.
Oh, I thought it was morning already.
No, you guys are just finishing up dinner.
Yeah, I thought we should plan this before we long rest, so that those of us who have to prepare spells can prepare the proper ones, because it's a totally different loadout from what I normally do. I think once we've kind of got that figured out, Taladar would go fetch Lyria and bring him in. I guess he's already joined us. That's right. He'd already said something.
He was busy entertaining one of the other knights.
I see. Well, I mean, we need to talk to him before we maybe first thing in the morning or whatever. Whenever we get a chance to talk to him,
Okay.
Talador wants to square up with him on what he's capable of and what he's willing to do. Noting that he, had some talent in a fight, I think we would maybe want to let him know that we have a bit of a reputation, as he's seen with our fight with the water cultists, and that
Hmm.
without saying too much, we don't want our reputation to precede ourselves. I think, and I'm happy to roll a deception check on this. God damn it, that's not good. And I don't know if it's really deception. Taladar would tell him that he wishes to gain an audience with the Air Queen. To look upon her beauty and to see if she really is all that he's heard. And I don't think he'd say any more than that. So it's up to you if you want to use that deception check or if that's not being facetious enough for that to be warranted. But he basically wants to spin a tale so that the bard understands why they're going to be disguised and not just walking in there as themselves. And
Without being honest about it.
without giving it all away, and then he's going to ask Lyria what it would take for him to go, like, name your price.
My price for going along with? I'm not sure what you are asking me.
I mean, this could be dangerous for you, and I'm not really certain what you're in this for yourself.
Employment, the chance at renown, the chance at fame, the chance to work for a winged queen.
Well, I suppose I'm warning you that she may not like us. She may have no use for us, and at that point, you might not want to have known us for very long. So feel free to make that clear that you picked us up along the way.
All right, I see. This is fair, yes.
But if things did go poorly and you lent us your blade, well, it would be appreciated. I understand if you don't, though.
It would depend on the situation. Obviously, I am out to protect my own interest and my own hide, as they say. But if things are as dangerous as you are suggesting, perhaps I should not be even going.
No, it's not that. It's I have no idea how we're going to be received.
I see. This does bear some thought. I am
No.
willing to take this risk. The chance at fame and renown is just too good to pass up.
Fair enough.
But yes, if things for some reason should turn sour, it does not hurt to have friends at the back, yes?
Yes.
I believe we have come to a reasonable arrangement.
And
If
if
things turn out well, however, and I am offered employment, I will be parting ways with you then.
of course, and if things don't, and you have a price, feel free to name it when the time comes.
Of course,
We'll do
there
what
is
we can.
always a price.
And if that wasn't in front of the others, I'll let them know that I had.
No, I would say everybody's there.
So if anybody else has anything they want to do to convince him, warn him, anything, that's...
Well, it sounds like the plan is set.
Right, so to wing and wingless flight we go?
Yes, so you guys will all take your long rest tonight, prepare whatever spells you need to have prepared. First thing in the morning, the storm is still raging.
Before we went to bed, Felix would ask Taladar, if he could borrow his armor for the night.
Oh boy.
Of course, it's not. It's nothing special, and if you're going to do something to it, perhaps consider one of the others. I tend to do well enough on my own. But yeah,
Then-
he'll hand it over.
All right. And in the morning, he would give it back to him, but attached with the Mind Sharpener infusion.
What does that do?
Nice.
Oh, that's damn, dude. Is that does that just last until next long rest, or does that last until you do another infusion?
It'll last until I do another infusion, or so basically it'll last for the full night, like until the next long rest.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm assuming you either explain it to Taladar, or when he dons the armor, he gains an understanding of how it works.
Yeah, I would explain to him and say, you were watching me yesterday. This is one thing that sometimes I'm able to produce.
What does it look like? Are there like runes embossed into the armor, or is it they're like gears, or
It's like he spilled sticky jam all over it.
ah.
The bard had a good time with it.
Oh no.
Yuck. I would say that any bits of embroidery on it almost look like they shimmer. All right. It is the morning. You guys have gathered together. Your plan is in motion.
Darkage, before I go to bed, I would have made good berries.
Okay. You've gathered together. The horses have been stabled. You're not quite sure where. You think they're downstairs in the stable, and in fact, when you travel down there to get on the hippogriffs that you're being loaned, you would see that they have been arranged to a stable. You're not quite sure how they got down there. You don't know if somebody magically moved them. You're just glad that they're, safe. So, what is the plan for getting down and across the Sighing Valley? You have two wingsuits at your disposal. I will say that they are probably too small they're definitely too small for Moss, and probably too small for Bry. Any of the rest of you can wear them. The hippogriffs can carry anyone. They can carry two, but you would not be able to get both Taladar and Moss on the same one. Any other configuration will work.
I mean, Taladar is just going to burn a 4th level spell slot and fly the two people who are least likely to fit on a hippogriff or in a wingsuit over.
No, you don't need to waste a spell. There is enough mounts and wingsuits to get everybody down.
Well then,
I'll take Felix, Felix, Starsha, or Taladar on my hippogriff. Whoever.
My friend, I am saddened that I was not included in this group.
I don't want to feel your boner in my back.
I would be sitting in front, my friend. I would be the one feeling the bone. It is your loss. I am not into you in that way. Unless you
Not the armor.
Oh my god.
So yeah, between Taladar, Felix, and Starsha, two of you can wear wingsuits. Unless you're willing to let the bard have one.
What are we looking at for, like, danger flying
None.
in this storm?
Very little,
Okay.
unless you roll a 1. I can't say there's no danger,
Yep.
because if you roll a 1, there's things happen.
I think Taladar is going to use a fly spell just on himself, so that he can unburdened navigate around the rest of the group to get within range of somebody who is in trouble to cast
Okay.
Featherfall on them.
Okay,
So he's a little
that,
bit more mobile.
that leaves 2 wingsuits for Felix and Starsha. Is that fair?
Sure.
Felix and Starsha will
Alright.
take the wingsuits.
I'll take the bard then on my hippogriff.
You will take the bard on the hippogriff. Moss will take his own hippogriff,
Mm-hmm.
and Taladar will fly.
Yep.
You guys all make your way to the top of the tower, even those with mounts, and you set off. I need everybody to give me an acrobatics check.
Oh no.
I will roll for the bard.
Oh my god.
It is a rough go. Has everybody rolled? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody's rolled. Felix, you were born for this. You are swooping and gliding, barrel rolls. And the best part of it is, it is under your own power. There's no magic involved here. This is just you and the air. Starsha, you don't fare quite as well. It takes you a while to get the hang of it, and your stomach drops as you seem to be approaching the ground faster than a lot of the others. But you do manage to correct and level out, and you guys make your way to the gully. Moss, you've been on a hippogriff before, and while the weather is throwing you off and it is difficult to see, you have no issue. Aranor, you have a little bit of difficulty. You have a hard time controlling your mount. You're not used to somebody riding in front of you who seems to be giving constant directions. No, to the left. You watch out for this. Oh, you're going to unseat us both. Oh, my lord, we are going to die. You do manage to land safely. Taladar, the wind buffets you. You are quite slight, but you were magically enhanced. And it's a little scary, but you do also make it safely to the ground. And you have all landed at the mouth of Knife Point Gully. It is pouring with rain. The wind is howling. And you do still hear the odd peal of thunder. You can see that the small river does narrow as it heads deeper into the gully. And you begin the trek deeper. After about 15 minutes, the gully does narrow. Those steep sides of these cliffs rise well above you. 100, 150, 200 feet up. And it does feel slightly claustrophobic. You don't get as much of the rain here, but the wind howls through this crevice, perhaps giving the valley its name, as it moans and sighs through this crevice. You see nothing else. There's no activity. There doesn't seem to be anyone else here. And after another 10 to 15 minutes of walking, you see an opening in the cliff face. A dark, gaping maw that beckons you below. It is lightless. You hear nothing listening inside. Nothing but the rain and the wind. What would you guys like to do?
Starsha, bring out your drift globe, please.
All right.
Starsha brings out the drift globe from her pack, sets it alight, and it bobs about 5 feet in the air, giving off a soft bluish glow. It doesn't do much for the exterior, but as you begin to enter this cave mouth, it does give you enough illumination to see that 20 or 30 feet in, there does seem to be a set of stairs carved into the cliffside.
So before we go any further,
Mhm.
I am going to cast Disguise Self on me, and I'm going to do Disguise Self rather than a creature because I can't talk as a creature.
Right. Okay.
And I'm going to disguise self as, you know what? I'll be one of the people, the woman that was accompanying the bard.
Okay. I think her name was Olandra or Oleandra. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, Alondra.
Alandra. All right. Moss assumes the form. He shrinks in size. Not completely. He does look like a very tall version of Olandra. But nowhere
Towers.
near his Moss size.
Talador's going to wait until we actually encounter people, and just kind of maybe keep the hood on his cloak pulled up, to obscure his face a bit.
Okay. This seems a terrible place to call a residence. The dark is... Well, I can see, but... This is uncomfortable. The sound of the wind dies off as you guys move deeper. There is very little to see in the darkness. You can see the edge of the cliff. It seems that this crevasse opens into a massive cavernous abyss with only these stairs cut into the side, leading ever downward. You travel for some time. 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Going carefully, quietly in the dark. Everybody make a... I'm going to say acrobatics check.
Wow.
It's sure footing for the most part. Steps are old, but they do seem to be in relatively good shape. And for the most part, your travel goes easily. Until about 20-25 minutes into your trek downward, Starsha, your foot slips on a bit of gravel, or perhaps a small part of the steps has come loose. And if not for Felix, who is right behind you, and his quick hands, you perhaps would have gone tumbling off into nothingness. You continue to wend your way down. The stairs do switch back on themselves until, after about another 20 minutes of travel, they even out and appear to come to a landing. It is quiet. You do still hear some wind howling, but it seems so far away. And I will move you to the new map. Now, only a handful of you should be able to see anything. Oh, no, you should all be able to see because I put the drift globe in there with you. Please tell me if you can't see.
It's completely odes to me.
Okay.
Do we have to fight those big dwarves?
Look down to the bottom left corner.
Yeah, it's in the bottom left corner. It's there.
Oh, you're right.
Sorry,
Yeah,
the
actually,
map
it's-
is really big. And I've also... Well, the map is really big. But you should all be able to see, thanks to, well, 3 of this group can see in the dark. The rest, everything should be faintly illuminated in a bluish glow, thanks to the drift globe.
Have we passed an hour?
No, it's been about 40 minutes total of travel. Maybe 30. It's been about 30 minutes to get down here.
Starsha, what kind of pets did you keep as a child?
Pets? I guess we had some chickens,
Hmm.
horses.
No cats. Do you like weasels or ferrets?
No.
How about a cat?
Starsha, what you remember of growing up in the Shadowfell, it is not a friendly place. Everything is dark,
No.
it is dreary, it is difficult. There were horses, but they were few and far between. There were a lot of rats, bats, a lot of spiders. Nothing so friendly as a cat.
Yeah, no.
The few dogs that you did see were feral.
Well, Starsha seems like she doesn't want a traveling companion. But so I'll shift into a ferret.
Okay.
Actually, do I want to? What do you guys think? Should I bother shifting?
You've already said you were doing it.
You have half an hour left of your disguised self.
I have 20 minutes.
You have 20 minutes left of your disguised self. Oh, right, because you put it on before you even got to the tunnel entrance. So yeah, you've got 20 minutes left. Talgar.
I'll shift into a ferret, and
Okay.
I will hop on Rin's shoulder.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, Rin's shoulder.
Right.
Rin
Uh.
is completely covered head to toe in a large brown cloak. He's got some sort of a shirt that's been tossed over top of his armor, hiding, the careful filigree and the ornamentation that is due his rank and his position as a Knight of Tyr, or Paladin of Tyr. The Bard, of course, is in his finery, as is his right as a performer, looking for employment. Starsha's outfit allows her to blend seamlessly into the darkness. Taladar, while his outfit is a little... I don't want to say ostentatious. It does stand out as being particularly elven.
Well, I mean, he would have changed into what we talked about.
Okay.
Yeah. No, like he's wearing the whatever outfit we rigged up to look a little bit more like entertainers. He was holding off on casting disguise self until we got close to people. So
right,
he's gonna.
So it's an outfit like you were wearing at the Fire Festival.
Yeah, kind of. It's basically like his armor, with maybe with one of those drapes, those purple drapes, sort of wrapped toga style around it. Slit up the side for mobility. And bound about the middle with maybe another piece of material as a sash, like just a cloth wrapped around his head, hair pulled back in a ponytail, and then he's going to cast Disguise Self to make himself look like somebody else, anybody else.
Okay.
You know what? He'll make himself look like the one of the two that left, the human man that
Okay.
left.
Yep. Are you changing just your face? Are your arms out and on display?
He'll change his face, and he'll change his skin tone and everything.
Okay.
But not the clothes he was wearing. In case somebody spotted us from a distance,
Right.
hopefully he'll still look enough like him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you guys see in the dark is exactly what you can see on the map. The landing evens out, and there's a bit of a worn path in the ground here. And in the distance, as you approach, you can see two large dwarven statues. The carved reliefs of two dwarves face one another in order to complete sort of an arch that has a large doorway beyond. The blocky contours of a lost dwarven city sprawl in the distance from what you can see here. From inside, somewhere beyond this large door, you can hear an agonized wail, followed by a breathless ramble of whimpering pleas. For a minute, the whole area, the whole city, seems to join in the chorus of screams, seeming to come from creatures that are mad from torture and torment. What would you guys like to do?
Let's go up to that door. What do you guys think?
Does it look like anyone's like come or gone from the store at all?
Oh, good question.
Make a survival check.
Ooh. Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, you can see there's many footprints in the dust and the dirt here. This looks like it is a well-worn path, recently used.
Looks like people come and go fairly common here, so we shouldn't dally around.
Um, should we... Does it look like this door might be trapped or any kind of trap around?
Make an investigation check. You're not sure what kind of trap you would be looking for.
Mhm.
The door looks like it's in good condition. And based on Felix's information, if this path is well worn, it stands to reason that this door would be open, unlocked. You don't see a lock on it. You don't see a trap of any sort.
All right.
So our bard friend should lead the way.
True. Yeah.
Why me? Should we not let the person with the most armor lead the way?
Aren't you the one we're traveling with?
Yes, but all right. He moves up to the door. If this kills me, I will come back to haunt all of you. And he reaches out and pulls on the large handle that's on the leftmost door. And it creaks open. It is dark when he opens the door. You can see some light that looks to be coming from someplace in this hall or entryway. Who is going to control the drift globe? Because I will assign it to whoever wants to control it.
I should be Deebs.
Deebs? Okay. Yeah, I was going to say probably one of the blind ones.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. It doesn't need a nameplate. Deebs, you should be able to move it now. Now, don't be cheaty and send it, 180 miles down the road.
I said it in front of me, a little ways in front of me.
Yeah. When you get farther than... I think it follows 5 feet anywhere you go. So yes, you can see in this room. Well, none of you have stepped in, so you don't really see anything. It looks like a very odd walled room. And you can hear loud screaming, intermittently, moaning, cries of despair perhaps in the distance.
Why am I locked out? Oh, I had to click on the little
Okay.
door.
Yeah, I can't get through the door.
I'm in.
Yeah, you have to click on it and then it lets you go through.
And then someone else clicks it and shuts it.
Yeah.
There we go. So, are these, what are these? These windows or cells or?
Well, you can hear screaming from behind these walls. There seems to be openings in some of these odd stair-like hallway, you think? The screams seem to follow you as you move in. And the deeper you get, you do start to hear music, perhaps? Flute?
Uh, looking here.
From there, you look and you can see individuals in this room. And as you approach one, you see a figure raise a crossbow and fire. I will need everyone to roll for initiative. Let me
But
clear
I
it
don't want him
first.
to.
Let me clear it first.
Let's all go invisible and pretend we're not here.
Okay, don't forget to click your token before you roll.
Classic Aranor.
Sorry, add 1 to my initiative because I am a ferret at present.
Okay, just give me a second.
So I have a 10, not a 9. We didn't even make it like more than 10 feet in. Damn it!
Where's my bard? There he is.
Bunch of Lucids.
They're all very fast.
What was this Kinko's name?
Scribble.
Scribble. that's right.
Scribble. I'm gonna need some combat music.
Should have bought that shield.
Yeah, you should have. It's like it was custom made for heading into this place.
Rip-a-doodle.
Send the Dota 2 carrier after it.
All right. So in the surprise round, Aranor, as you walk right up to this window that is actually supposed to be opened, you see a figure, strange looking, with a feathered head and dark sort of clawed or taloned hands. And it raises its crossbow and fires at you.
In your face.
It won't matter because nothing's going to hit Aranor anyway. It clanks just to the side of this stone window and doesn't exit.
Sorry, just to note that for the moment I am on Aranor's shoulder.
Okay. Oh, right, and I'm adding 1 to your initiative. So at the top of the round, you hear more screaming in the darkness, and you hear the shuffling of perhaps taloned feet. As a shot comes out of the dark, aimed for the drift globe. It just seems to graze it and disappears against the far wall. More shuffling and more moans of agony are heard from farther in this chamber. Close to you now. You almost hear laughter as another shot comes out from behind one of these windows towards the drift globe. This one manages to hit it, but just slightly. It is only slightly knocked askew. Taladar, that brings us to you. The bard is actually inside.
Yeah, so I'm having trouble seeing anything with I can kind of see a guy there. I'm just how much do I get to wiggle my pawn around so that I can actually see what's going on? Because frankly, the line of sight is just it's horrible.
Well, from where you are right now, you can't see anything. You can see the first maybe corner of a wall.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I can pick Taladar up and drag him all over the map to see what's in the room. I mean, there's nothing stopping me from doing that, but
Other than that's cheating? Sure.
yeah, sure, but I mean, anyway, where did you want me to start in this fight? Because he was actually like way back here.
You start from wherever you want. If you think you're way back there, then just...
No, I mean, I'd say he's a frontline fighter, so he's probably up here with Rin, side by side with Rin.
Yeah, I mean, you would have seen a shot come out of the window to your left. You would have probably seen another shot come out from a farther window to the right. You can hear screaming and an odd cackling sound.
Okay.
I mean, I have the tokens set so that I can see exactly what you're seeing.
And these are these are windows, right? Like,
yes.
What is the cover situation? Is it half cover for +2 AC, or is it 3/4 cover for, what is it, +5 AC, or?
If you were standing directly in front of a window, anything that's on the other side, it has no cover. If you were at any sort of angle, it gives +2.
Okay. As far as I can tell, everything I can see is just murder holes. So I think Taladar is gonna it's a little risky, but he is going to...
Do you think these things are under control?
I mean, he's gonna shout, "We mean you no harm. We're a traveling troupe of entertainers who seek audience with your queen." And then he is going to step back, trying to step out of sight, peek around the corner, and Dimension Door. Oh, Jesus, that doesn't get him very far. 30 feet to here, invoke the... Oh, no, he can't Blade Song because they're both bonus actions. God damn it. And then he's going to run his another 20 feet to here, and and tuck into this corner.
Okay.
Every time I move, like, the map is not remembering anything I've seen, so I just get black anywhere I can't currently see.
Yeah, because you can't currently see it.
Sure, but the way you had it set up on one of the other maps is it grayed it out and took away any of the tokens, but you could still, like, I'm not capable of remembering what the room looks like if I can't see it. So, can you tell me, would I have seen any doors, or is it all windows between?
The only door that you see is the one directly in front of you, right beside you. You've
Okay,
passed no other doors in this hallway.
Okay, well, I've got 10 feet of movement left, so I'm going to open the door and go in.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Let me just do this. Okay, so so 10 feet of movement gets me to there, and I'm going to duck around the side of the door.
Okay. You can see light coming from farther down this hallway you seem to be in.
Well, I'm looking for a way to get into where these guys are. If I can't fit through these windows. So
you see that the hallway continues on for some distance, turns a corner. You do see light in the distance.
I got 30 feet of
is
movement left if I don't.
There is a door to your north. Yeah, if you move that far, you're going to see there's light. There's a torch on the wall to the north of you, and it looks like 3 figures in that hallway.
And he hasn't drawn his weapon or anything. So he's gonna dash and get to there and see these guys, and that's his turn.
Okay. Starsha.
Mm-hmm.
You watched Taladar move into the room, disappear and reappear farther down this hallway, and then you watched him open a door and move through it.
I see. I don't understand this weird rooms. Why is there like windows in the room?
Because they're like arrow slits.
It's weird. Kind of weird place is this? So is my assumption right that if you start walking through it, arrows will come shooting at you out of those arrow slits?
I mean, that's an assumption. But you don't know that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
From where you are right now, you can see that there is an individual through that window to your right. It looks like a bird man. You can hear the sounds of screaming and wailing in pain.
Does not sound good. You should be here.
And you can hear the sound of flute music that seems to be coming from deeper inside this complex.
Can I tell how long this hallway is?
Sorry, what is it that you're doing?
Can I tell how long this hallway is? If I'm looking down the hallway, can I tell where it ends?
Let me see what you can see. Your dark vision does not extend any farther, so you would have seen Taladar disappear into the darkness. Down here, that's the extent of your vision. You can't see into the darkness beyond that.
How far is this?
I'm assuming everyone else is having difficulty with this map as well.
I see a lot of black. I mean, it's... Okay, we'll figure it out.
My thingy is like right under the door. I can't pivot.
I'll just move you slightly.
Okay. Alright. Well, let me use my, what is this teleportation thing that lets me, like, teleport?
Mm-hmm. The Blessing of the Raven Queen?
Yes, I'm gonna use that to try and avoid being shot at.
Okay. Where is it that you'd like to move to?
Just down the hallway.
To the same direction that Taladar went? Taladar moved down to about here. He used, I think, Dimension Door or something. So
Right
from
about here.
there, you can see that there is a door at the end of this oddly shaped hallway. There are several other windows. And the door at the end is open. You're assuming
Oh.
that that's where Taladar has gone.
Okay.
So you still have 30 feet of movement.
Oh, well, in that case, let me be completely reckless and go through that door.
Okay. At the extent of your vision, you can see that there is light coming from a hallway farther down, and you can see Taladar standing there in the darkness.
Oh, I see him now. Okay. Okay. Oh, and there's a door over there too.
Yes, you can just make out that there's a door in the northern wall.
This is where I'm gonna stay for now.
Okay, and that's your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Felix, that brings us to you.
So I can see that, like, a guy there with my vision.
Where you are standing right now, if you're standing right to the south of Taladar, you cannot. You would need to move to right behind Taladar to be, right behind Aranor to be able to see into that room.
Can't see Aaron, or I don't know where he is.
He's right in front of you.
Oh, okay.
Where I've just put you, you should be able to see into that room now.
Oh, okay. It was like actually this guy that it was showing me.
Oh,
That split through me. So I would have to move to. So if I move here, I would be able to see this guy?
Yep.
Okay.
You can probably just make out the guy to your left.
And that window's open?
Yes, both of them appear to be open.
Is it actually a window?
It's an arrow slit. It's probably only 6 inches, maybe 8 inches wide.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, since I can clearly see this guy, I will firebolt this guy.
Okay. That is definitely going to hit.
And then I will duck back over here.
In fact, he catches fire so thoroughly that he drops his weapon to the ground, making an odd, screeching, bird-like cawing noise, and then stills.
Get fucked, Birdie.
He is dead.
Nice. I think this is where I was.
You move back into the darkness behind Aranor.
Alright, that would be my turn.
Okay. It is now the Kenku's turn. The Kenku who can very clearly see Aranor standing there. He is going to take a shot. Actually, what he is going to say is, in a very strange sounding voice, in an accent that you've maybe not heard before. And if they do enter, kill them. Almost sounds like a female voice. But then he fires at you. The arrow this time passes through the window, but it just scrapes against your armor. Does not hit. Moss, that brings us to your turn.
So I think there was a window directly in front of me,
There
but
is.
I can't see it right now. But literally, like right here, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
I think I removed it when I was trying to move everyone around.
it's black, so I can't actually see it. Yeah, there we go.
There, I moved the globe to.
So I'm just gonna jump through. Can I fit through as a ferret?
As a ferret, you can absolutely fit through.
I'll jump off Rin's shoulder
Mhm.
and jump through and run forward. And I guess I'll unshapeshift, which is a bonus action.
Mhm.
And then I'll take a clawed swipe at him
Okay, go ahead.
with. So I'll hiss and cast Primal Savagery.
Unfortunately, that is just not enough to hit.
Okay.
But you are now in this room, face to face with this odd, bird-like man. It's a creature you don't think you've ever seen before. Does appear to be some sort of a corvid.
Actually, I'll move to the side just so I'm out of line of sight.
Okay.
Out of the way if anyone wanted to hit him.
Okay.
Done.
That brings us to Lyria. He is going to move up to the same window. Oh, you look like you could use a hand. Perhaps, though, I should not get involved. I will move, my friends. Follow me. And he's going to move down the hall. And he's going to use his action to move all the way up to the door. He can get just through it. That is his turn. Aranor.
I'll move up and bring the globe with me.
Yeah, I just moved it.
Okay.
As long as that's where you want it.
Yeah.
You can move it anywhere within 5 feet of you.
And can I dash to make it?
Well, you've moved. You can use your action to move another 30 feet.
Okay. I'll move through the door.
Felix, unfortunately, you are now left in the darkness. That Kenku is dead. You hear movement to your north. More sounds of screaming and some cawing sounds that you don't quite understand. Sounds like large birds.
It's lunch.
Taladar, it's your turn.
I mean, based on what's going on, these people aren't looking for bards to entertain them. So Taladar's going to draw his blade, invoke the blade song, and cast lightning bolt at these two guys who were in a line.
Okay.
I need them to make a DC 15 Dex save to have 30 points of lightning damage.
They're both dead.
Oh, good. Then he's going to run 40 feet to there. Can't reach the last guy. Doesn't have anything left. But he's going to grin his wicked grin and drop disguise self. Full
This
racist
individual
elvish
doesn't even look up
tattoos.
at you. He is gaunt,
Oop,
as
hang
if
on.
starving. He is tied repeatedly. Many lengths of rope tie him to this obelisk.
That's fine. Doesn't matter. Taladar is just going to shout, "You're next," and that's his turn. Don't care who these people are. He's switched to, you know what? They chose violence. He wants to kill everybody in this building now.
Okay. And that's everything?
Yep.
Starsha.
I will creep up to this door here.
This one here?
Yeah, the closest one.
Mhm.
And can I hear anything from the other side?
Yes. You can hear voices from the other side of this door.
Can I
You
make
can
out
hear-
what they're saying?
You do hear somebody. It sounds like they're angrily being. Somebody is reprimanding somebody in there. Terrible! Terrible! Why do I even bother? You hear flute music. Some of it quite bad.
And Moss is in
Man,
there.
I feel like they're all under control.
They're hypnotized by the flute music.
They're like how, you know, the townspeople and Savra and everything were the same kind of deal. I don't
you
know.
think?
I don't know. A lot of them are fried now. Fried
Do we have
chicken
time
right
to
now.
sort it out?
No. I mean, I was gonna try and touch him in protection from Evil One, but got to get to him first.
Gotta get to him before I kill him.
Right.
Is there a keyhole? Can I peep through the keyhole?
There is no keyhole. These
What
doors
door is
are
that?
they're much different than doors you're used to seeing. There is no knob or handle. Give me an
Then how do you
investigation.
open it?
Give me an investigation check. It looks like this door swivels on a central pin. These doorways are quite wide.
It's like a secret bookcase.
They're like 6 feet wide, and you know that if you were to push on one side or the other, the door would move, swiveling on that center pin, creating basically 2 openings on either side.
Right. Let me slowly swivel it a crack open.
As you crack it open, there is not going to be a cracking open. There's open or not. You see that there is light. There's light coming from inside. And through the crack, you can see several individuals and someone dressed in very gaudy robes with a foppish hat with many feathers protruding from it.
Arakoa.
He has a large, elaborate flute in one hand. The other individuals are all very similarly dressed. They all, too, seem to have flutes of some sort. There is a large fountain, it looks like, in this room. And that's about all you can make out at this distance. There is light in here. At least some.
I see. Let me carefully swivel the door back shut.
Okay.
Who's this? This is Taladar and Aranor?
No,
that who's-
behind you is the bard, Lyria, and Aranor is right behind him.
And Aranor. Okay.
Chaladar was at the end of this hall, and then you saw him turn to the north.
I see.
You did also hear the loud crackling and light that would indicate some sort of light or lightning has gone off. You do also have smell coming to you now of burnt flesh.
Oh, that's not good. Maybe we can ignore this room for now. I don't know. Okay.
Well, you're still
Tal-
technically in combat, so
Yeah. But I don't want to march in there by myself and have to deal with 6 bird people.
nope. Understandable.
So, Taladar, this room contains 6 people. It looks like a music lesson of some sort.
Oh, you're talking to Aranor in the bar. Taladar is nowhere in
Yes,
sight.
Aranor,
Yes.
that's what I meant.
Okay.
So you're just informing him of what you've seen.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do? You do have some movement left.
Is this like a hallway to the left here?
This, it looks like it is a hallway that leads to the north. It is a large arch. Light is spilling out from it.
Oh, I'm in the wall.
It's just the way the map's laid out.
So I'm not in the wall. Okay.
I would say from there you can peek around the corner and you can see what looks like a body burnt to a crisp. It is still tied around the base of this obelisk. Moving there, you can see that Taladar has moved farther up the room. There seems to be 3 obelisks. You can see another body tied to the second, who is also burnt to a crisp.
Why is he frying people?
What would you like to do?
How much movement do I have left?
You're almost at the end of it. I think you've got 5. You've got 10 more feet before you would need to use your bonus action to move more.
Okay, well let me move over here. That way I'm in the room, but I'm out of sight.
Okay.
This is the body that's burnt to a crisp?
Mhm.
Alright.
That's everything?
Yeah.
Felix. You are left alone in the dark.
Do it.
There's a little bit of light that you can see coming from behind these windows. And you're pretty sure that you can navigate this hallway by feel, as if you outstretch your hands, you'd be able to feel the corners as you moved.
Okay, so I can move towards my party.
Yes.
Well, I'll move 30 feet towards them,
Okay, I will move you 30 feet towards them.
and then I'll just go caw caw on my way.
That's not 30 feet. That's 30 feet.
And if an arrow comes at me, I'm going to firebolt. So reaction firebolt.
Okay, so you're holding an action in case somebody fires at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Moss, in the room that you are in with, you have just wild shape or dropped your wild shape. This Kenku now drops his crossbow to the ground. And pulls out a short sword and stabs at you.
Ah!
Does a 9 hit?
It does not.
These guys are terrible. Perhaps he's stunned. This tiny creature that just it morphed into a large figure in front of him, but his swing goes wide. That is his turn. Moss, it is your turn.
I will hiss as fair-like as I can, and I will swipe at him.
Okay, go ahead. That is a hit. And with the acid combined, that is more than enough to put him down. You have a quick look around, and you think that you're alone in this room.
Okay, I'm gonna get behind a little bit of cover then. So I'll move up.
Okay.
Oh, that's not much cover. Well, I guess I'll just go there.
Okay. From there, you can see out that window to the drift globe, and you can just make out the form of Aranor beside it.
Okay.
You think you heard Felix move up the hallway to your left, but you can't currently see him. That will bring us to Lyria. Who moves up. Also stops to listen at the door. What did you say? There was a music lesson? He speaks out to Starsha, who has disappeared around a corner. What did you say? What did you say you saw? What was in that room?
There were how many were there? 6 hooded figures.
There was 5 hooded figures and another individual who
Oh,
seemed
yeah.
to be giving a lesson, maybe?
Yeah, I mean it looked. They all had flutes. And he
Oh,
was yelling at them.
perhaps this is who I am looking for.
Who was it you looking for? A flute master?
Well, I am here to audition for a position. I had heard the Queen was looking for minstrels. Perhaps I should speak to these individuals.
Hmm.
And he will then move back towards the door. But he will wait until more people have arrived. I do not wish to enter on my own. Just in case. The screaming sounds are a little off-putting.
Yes, I agree.
So he's going to wait there. Aranor.
Opening the door.
Aranor moves up to the door, and not quietly like Starsha, pops it open. I am, because you guys have moved out of their range and they do not seem to be following you, you guys are going to be out of initiative. Taladar is still in because he's still in combat, but the rest of you have moved out of initiative.
Not that music.
So am I free to join the rest of them?
I would say that, yeah, you can definitely move to the end of the hall. You can see where the door is. You can see the light of the drift globe. It is now moving away from the doorway because it's right beside Aranor. I will move you.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
I don't even know if you can see you. Oh, there you are. Moss, you were out of initiative, but you were in a room that seems
I have
to
no
only
idea what the fuck's going on. I assume we're still fighting.
You can't hear any of your friends, and you don't hear any combat. You can hear some screaming and some wailing. It does sound like Felix has also passed through that doorway to the north. But you don't see or hear any of your friends.
Am I
It
free to
is-
do
sorry, no,
actions?
It is still we're out of initiative now, so yeah, you guys can let me know what you want to do. Aranor has opened the door blatantly, I think, and walked in. So yes, you are free to do what you would like.
Can I do a produce flame?
Yes.
So I can see.
Yes. Let me highlight or light your character.
So, let me know. I'm going to say something when I walk in. Start.
Okay. You should have some light now, Moss.
I do, thank you.
No
I'm going
problem.
to maybe just scout around this area a little bit while they're doing things.
Okay, I would tell you that there's not a whole lot going on in this room. There's a weapon rack that seems to hold nothing but crossbows and crossbows and bows. There's a couple of quivers full of arrows, a couple of stacks of crossbow bolts, and nothing else other than the arrows, the dead bodies, and the doorway. The door being here.
Okay, am I continuing on, or are we shifting back focus to the other group?
Well, if you say you're going to just take some time and look around in here, we're going to jump back to Taladar. What are you doing?
What does this last guy look like?
He is dressed in, it looks like, raggedy robes. He has a very gaunt face, sunken cheeks, like he hasn't eaten or anything for weeks.
Okay. I'm gonna kill him.
Okay.
Let's do a booming blade rapier. Do a advantage? Is he
Yes,
immobile?
you'd have
or-
advantage. He's immobile. He is tied to an obelisk.
Why? Oh no, it did roll. Does a 9 hit?
That's with advantage? No, a 9 does not hit. It looks like you can't.
25 hits.
Yep.
4 points of damage.
Oh, stop.
The heck? Taladar, what are you doing?
I don't know what these guys are, and I don't care. They chose violence. I'm killing everything. Yeah, and next turn, same thing.
Nobody is going to be there to stop you because they're all farther down the hall. So, well, sorry, Starsha's in this room. So you can see that Taladar has just stabbed into this individual.
Lovely.
And looks like he's swinging to do so again. So unless there's anything you want to say or do.
I am using my mage hand, since I'm kind of far away,
Mm-hmm.
to grab his hand that holds the sword to stop him.
Okay.
Okay, let me figure out how to do this. Nope, that did not do it. Do not click on this to roll it.
Are you
Well,
within
you wouldn't
30
need to.
feet?
You wouldn't need to roll anything. Mage hand basically just does
Oh.
whatever you want, but you
Yeah.
would need to move within 30 feet of Taladar.
Yeah, you just need to move
Alright.
up.
Yep. So yeah, the mage hand, which for you is actually invisible.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Springs out. You can see it. It is a translucent hand that seems to just come to life, and it reaches out and grabs Taladar by the wrist that holds his rapier, and attempts to hold him. It can't restrain him, but it can hold on to his arm.
Right.
Are you seeing anything? Like, he doesn't know what this is, right? He can't
Yeah.
see it, and he's never seen you cast it before. So,
Nice.
So you're
Um,
not saying anything?
Oh no, I'm letting you have it. What are you doing?
I'm killing everything in this place. They fired on us the minute we walked in the door. Everything dies.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Fine, then it's your problem, and he'll just move on. What do I see? Looks
What
like a
you
very
see,
dark
you
hallway.
you're now standing on a bridge.
Oh,
There is water moving slowly from right to left. You can still hear the sound of flute music coming from somewhere behind you.
should I be able to see that thing that is like way off to the right? Because I can.
Way off to the right.
Here, I'll ping it. Way off to the right corner, upper right corner of the map. I can see a creature and a
You
chunk
can
of.
see. I would say that you can see that there's light coming from over there. There does
Okay.
appear to be a room over there, and you can probably see the top of something's head over there.
Oh, then yeah.
In front of you, what you can see in the darkness as it scales all the way up to a very tall ceiling. The ceiling here is probably 120 feet tall. Is a massive pyramid. And it does look... give me a perception check.
Oh, like so. This is like
With
the foot of a.
disadvantage.
This is
Yes.
the foot of a pyramid. Got it.
Yes.
You said
Give me a perception.
disadvantage. Nope. Why is my control key not working? Come on. There it goes. That's weird. 5.
Yeah, you can hear the sound of water. You can hear a loud, you're not quite sure what it is, a loud rushing or roaring of water or wind coming from somewhere far to your west, to your northwest. You thought for a moment you heard something to the north, maybe towards the ceiling, but you don't see anything.
I think at that, Taladar would step back. Out of sight. Just in case.
Aranor, what are you doing? Felix, you've caught up with everyone. Everyone has moved past the gauntlet of horrors. You do still hear some screaming coming from that direction.
So, when I walk in, I state, "Why are we under attack? We have the great Lyria Akisto with us. Renowned bard minstrel."
Yes, explain this to me. I have come to entertain, to seek position with the queen. What is the meaning of this? He sort of winks at you as if, I pick up what you're putting down. The flute music comes to a halt, if you could call it music. Who did you say you are?
This is Lyria Akisto.
Akisto. The name is familiar. And you say you're here to perform?
That's correct.
Yes, I have come seeking an audience with your queen. I was under the impression she is looking for minstrels to entertain her and perhaps her court. Well, I am the only minstrel that typically performs for her, but you are more than welcome to join us. Perhaps you will be better than this riffraff that has been provided to me. Untalented lot. Away, all of you. And one by one, these guys put their flutes on the bench to the north and make their way out of the chambers behind you. Not him. Great, now I've moved the drift globe.
And
which
me.
is now right behind you. Did I move you too? You're with
Bye, Felix.
There we go. I'm back.
All right. They have moved away. You're not sure where. They just disappeared out the door. Come, tell me a little bit more about yourself. I'm sure I've heard the name. Meanwhile, Starsha and Taladar, what are you doing? There's an individual still tied to this obelisk.
Oh, I thought Taladar had moved on.
You saw him step out onto... He stepped through the arch, and then he has since stepped back. He seems to be looking out over what looks like a bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if she doesn't want me to kill the guy, that's fine. I'll ignore him. I don't want to go any further out across that bridge, so I'll go the other way and see what's what.
Okay, so you've moved back down the hall. You can see a bunch of robed individuals disappearing down the hall into the darkness.
Like running away, or
Nope.
like I just happened to catch them walking.
You
that
just catch the
direction?
tail end of them. You're not
Uh,
sure where they came from. You hadn't seen them before.
Right. I will go down this way. Have a look.
Okay. You go down that way, the torch lighting your way, but your dark vision allowing you to see that there is a door at the end of this short hall.
Yeah, I'm relatively certain that leads to one of those Kenku rooms. I'm assuming I don't hear combat anymore, so I'm assuming we're done.
Yeah, you don't hear any combat.
Might have
But
heard.
I don't know what that means. So I am going to go to that door and open it.
Okay. You push on one side, and it spins on its axis in the middle. And on the other side of the door, you see Moss.
Moss.
Moss reacts and takes a swipe. That must clearly be an enemy from the other side of the door.
Did you have an action ready?
No. I guess shocked Moss. You see him readying up to attack.
Oh, my blade song is obviously done at this point. It only lasts a minute. What happened?
I killed the other one in there. Where are the others?
Starsha's in a hallway beyond, safe for the moment. I don't know where everyone else is. Or what of the room on the other side with...
I don't know. I jumped through the window and dealt with the person in here. Dealt with the bird in here.
So the room's clear, nothing of note. Let's move. And he'll just turn and run the other way.
Okay. We're going to go back to Felix and Aranor. The bard, Lyria, has moved up. Yes, I have had extensive training, and I have spent my life pursuing the arts, performing, singing, some dancing, and I can play most instruments. Anything I have not seen, I am sure I can easily learn. Is it with you that I must conduct interviews, or should I be seeking an audience with the Queen? Well, ultimately it would be, of course, her decision. Tell me, from where do you hail? What do you know of the cult of the Crushing Wave? And of Olhydra herself. Or sorry, Jan Sibin himself. Jan Sibin? I've never heard this name. The cult of the Crushing... I thought this was Howling Hatred. Oh, yes, my bad, it is. I know very little of this cult. I am here merely as a performer. I was seeking a job, a payment, prestige, of course. I have no wish to join in any cult. I see. Aranor, are you staying back by the door?
I'll move since I'm cosplaying as his bodyguard. I'll be kind of like there.
Okay. Felix, you're just going to stay sitting on the bench?
Yeah.
I would say you can see at the other end of the bench there are 2 flutes. Make a perception check. These are very odd looking flutes. They don't appear to be made of metal or carved from reed or made from wood. Make a medicine check. These flutes look like they are made from human bones.
Ooh.
You there. Those are not for you. Please. Hands to yourself.
Who are
Let
they
me
for?
introduce. They are for the Windwards. The Windwards are a performance group. I am looking to add more members, seeing as there is not an ounce of talent to be had in this current group.
What is your
If
ro-
you perform well enough, I would allow you to join. What were you going to say?
I was just I was just gonna ask what his role exactly is, but he's already explained it.
Yes, I am in charge of Arise's entertainment. I perform for her. I keep her entertained in her chambers above. I recruit individuals, although she has the final say. Should you prove skilled, I would let you join the Windwards.
May
If
we
not, well, he just sort of lets that lie.
Mm. May we have an audience with the Arises?
Not until you can prove to me that you are worthy.
Lyria.
I have no doubt whatsoever that I will be found worthy. Come, what do I need to do? You need to perform. On flute, preferably. And Lyria goes into his pack and produces a silver flute. No. There'll be none of that here. And he hands Lyria a stylized, well-carved bone flute. With this, these are the instruments that we use here. This... What sort of bone is this? This does not appear to be any animal that I believe I have ever seen. Why, the flutes are made of those who are not skilled enough to become a permanent member of the Windwards. So I do urge you, perform well. I do not know, my friend. He's sort of leaning towards you, Aranor. I do not know if I want to play this instrument.
Yeah.
In fact, I do not know if I want to continue trying to get a job here.
I glance back at Felix to get an idea of what he thinks.
Felix, you've heard this whole conversation.
I'll just... Go ahead, Deeps.
Sorry, it's definitely getting uncomfortable, basically, is...
I just maybe tell the guy maybe he should play first, and then show that Lyria can copy what he's doing to see who the better musician is.
I would be happy to. Lyria says, I suppose that is an okay arrangement. And before they begin playing, we're going to jump back to Starsha. What are you doing?
Oh.
You were in this long hallway. It has a the ceiling here is not open to the greater cavern. It has a bit of a domed ceiling that rises up above these obelisks. Let Let me just pull it up. There are 3 obelisks in this hallway. Tapered, they come to a point at the top. Their sides are all inscribed with what looks like ancient pictographs. They stand in a straight row leading farther to the north. The peaks just below a 15-foot high, sort of vaulted, domed ceiling. I'm gesturing with my hand, like you can see. At the base of this northernmost obelisk, there is a gaunt human, it looks like, tied to its base. Around the obelisks, the floor itself it's dusty and it's dirt covered, but there are colored cobblestones beneath. And if you brush some of it away, it looks like it's depicting a dwarf with a massive warhammer over its shoulder. Make a religion check. Wow. You might not know a whole lot about religions in this world, but you know that this is Moradin. This is leader, sort of the dwarven pantheon of gods. Their foremost god. Their god of creation and the forge. Makes sense, knowing that these are, you're pretty sure, the dwarven city or ruins that you were told about.
Oh. Would I, if I whipped out my map, would I recognize anything?
Make an investigation check.
I can't. I already used my best roll.
Well, I mean, you got to try again. You could get 2 20s.
No. I
Well,
can't.
I mean, it's close.
Damn.
It doesn't take you more than a minute. Your map is quite large. It's quite an extensive whatever. You're not quite sure. But after, looking around and placing what you've seen, the dwarven entrance, the 2 dwarves there, these 3 pillars, yes, in the bottom left corner of this map, that looks like where you are.
Ooh.
And if that's the case, this area, perhaps this whole temple, is part of a much, much larger complex. It seems to stretch on for miles and miles.
Oh my.
You
So this
hear,
guy is.
you hear a
ahead.
moan from this individual that's tied to the obelisk. There is a little bit of blood trickling out from where he'd been stabbed.
Oh. Who stabbed him? Was it Teledor?
You watched him.
What the heck? Oh, I thought I stopped him before he could.
No, you watched him stab him once, and then he
Oh.
swung back to take another one, because he didn't get him good
Oh.
enough the first time.
Wow. He's just bad. But Teledor didn't tie him up, right? He was already tied up?
No, it looks like he was already tied up. And even if you didn't know that, you know that Taladar wouldn't have had the time to tie this guy up.
Right. Fudge. He goes and tries to stab some poor tied up cloaked guy.
Oh, they look like cultists to me.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
wearing very tattered sort of robes. He is extremely thin, emaciated. He's got gaunt, like hollowed cheeks.
Wow.
It does look like the bits of his arms that you can see, they're incredibly thin, and he has welts that look like they're covering a large portion of his body.
That's awful.
What would you like to do?
Mm. I mean, ask him if he's here voluntarily.
Yes, I am being tested.
Oh.
Finish the job.
No, that's just wrong.
Soon. Yes, soon. I will join him, yes. Soon.
See, the thing is, if he's like mind controlled like all the other people,
You literally murdered a guy who was mind controlled yesterday.
He was a mind control.
He
How do
was
you know he's
charmed.
Charmed.
Well,
sure,
he was mind controlled by Starsha.
No, by the
control.
bard, right? Didn't the bard charm him?
Bard.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
the bard charmed him.
yeah, that's different. No, I'll leave him.
Yes, I must get back to my study. And he closes his eyes and he just sort of leans back against the obelisk.
Okay. I will just leave him to his studies
Okay. Make a perception check.
and walk away.
Start
As
chat.
you walk away, make a perception check. From the north, you can hear water. Sounds like it's a slow-moving stream, perhaps. But you very faintly pick up another sound. Sounds like giant wings, maybe?
Oh dear.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not stupid enough to go down there by myself.
You can move as much as you'd like at this point. We're not in initiative.
Oh, okay. Well, let
you
me find
can-
them.
You would be able to see from where you are. You can see where Moss and Taladar are. That's who we will move to, Moss and Taladar. What would you like to do?
Starsha, where are the others?
I've no
they still-
idea, but something is flapping its wings down that hallway.
You would have seen as you passed the hallway, the door that you had opened and peeked into is now open. You can see light spilling out of it.
Does anyone know
Would-
where the others went?
Wouldn't they have heard
Taladar, can
me?
you-
Wouldn't they have heard me yelling at that guy? Maybe, or maybe
I mean,
not.
if the door is open,
They could probably hear talking. You guys would be able to hear talking now coming from that room, much clearer. It sounds like your friends are inside.
Sorry, which? This door? Oops. I
This
just closed
door.
it and I can't see it.
it's this door, right?
Yes. Yeah, Starsha, you can see your friends are inside. Moss, if you approach, you can see that that's where everyone is. It's quite well lit in here. Taladar, what are you doing?
Taladar just jogged down the hallway a little ways, realized that it went on further than he really dared to venture, and jogged back. This place feels large, and he doesn't. Unless he's invisible, he doesn't want to go exploring without the rest of the group. So
Okay.
he's going to head back, and on his way past, he is going to cast Toll the Dead on that guy.
Okay.
60 feet. So I need him to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw. Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
For some reason, I always think it's Constitution.
11.
Then he takes 12 points of necrotic damage.
He slumps over, dead.
Good. And I will jog to catch up with the others.
All right, Moss, let's start approaching the door.
Mhm.
All right, stepping inside.
More that have come to attempt to join. Are these friends of yours? He seems to be looking behind you, Aranor.
Yes, these are the rest of the performers with Lyria.
Well, they will have to wait their turn. If it is to be a contest of talent, so be it. You first, my friend. I insist.
Oh no, you first. You were supposed to show him what he was going to play.
All right, fine. Observe. And he pulls a flute out from his cloak. The one he had stowed when you were entering. It is quite stylized, but it is still made of bone. And he begins to play a haunting melody on it. It is chilling. But it does seem hauntingly beautiful at the same time. He plays for perhaps 30 seconds and then stops. And I will make a performance check. All right. So now I have a number that you need to beat. That I need to beat, I suppose. There. See if you can reproduce that on the instrument I have handed you. Lyria takes a look at this instrument in his hand and sort of looks over it. It seems to be in order. He gives a quick little trill on it as if testing it out. It is distasteful, but it is well crafted. All right, observe. And he will make a performance. He replicates this individual's song perfectly. In fact, he embellishes on it just a little. Gives it a little more depth. A little more haunting despair. Yes, that is quite enough. Very good. You are more than welcome to join in the Wind Veins. I would be happy to have you. My name is Windharrow.
Nice to meet you, Windharrow. May we have audience with the Queen now?
No, of course not. We cannot join her until this evening. And you must all still pass the test. But I think that is where we're going to stop.
Mm.
So Lyria has managed to get in good and has been offered a position in the... what did I call them? The Wind Veins. Windharrow has said that we can't meet with the Queen until later. And we can't visit her until you guys have all passed a test. Now, you're
Yeah.
not sure if you're all going to need to blow a flute or if something else will suffice. But Felix, you know that these are human bones, that these flutes have all been created. And you get the sense, Aranor, after listening to him speak with Lyria, that the cost of failing to perform or failing to join the Wind Veins might mean that you end up becoming one of these flutes.
Hmm.
Was there anything strange after he had played?
Nope. It was just a really creepy sounding song. At least
Even
there's
after
no...
Lyria played?
Yep. Even after Lyria played, there was no discernible change in anything.
Can I try to detect magic on these things?
On the flutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I roll for that?
You'd have to roll a detect magic. Do you have detect magic?
I do. Oh no, I think it's identify.
You have identify for sure. You don't have a detect magic, I don't think. You could make an arcana check.
Oh, okay.
There doesn't seem to be anything magical about these flutes. Other than, well, they're not magical. They appear to be hand carved from bone. It looks like perhaps femur. If Aranor says that these are human bones, or sorry, if Felix says these are human bones, you can't help but think that this is a thigh bone from somebody.